everyone, I'm Rachel from the Imperial Idea Lab and Library, and in this tips and tricks video we're going to learn a little bit more about the Cricut design space and how you can change your canvas view, how you can also look at the different size measurements for your units. So Cricut recently done an update, but not much has changed from them. So as you can see, there's a couple of different colors here on their webpage, but as always we're just going to click on New Project. Now we have our design space here, and you'll notice there's grids, and there's also numbers at the top and down the left-hand side of them. And right now those are set to inches. So right now each square is a 1-inch square. So I always like to keep a measuring tape nearby, because if I'm making a sticker or something for an object, I like to see it and then measure to see actually how big it is. So if I was creating a decal to go on this mug, I'd probably want it about 3 inches. And I probably wouldn't want it more than 2 inches. So if I wanted to create some text, I'm just going to create some text. And right now you can see at the top here and at the side there are numbers, and that's telling you what it is in inches. So right now we have a decal that's about 7.5 inches wide, which is pretty big for a coffee mug, and then only almost 1.5 inches tall. Now I want to make that smaller, and I can click on my arrow button here and click and drag, make it a lot smaller. If I wanted to, I could also change it. So if I clicked on this object again, I can hit the unlock button, and this gives me a freeform option. So I can make it a little taller if I wanted to. Just gonna go over here. And that's telling me that it's just roughly about 3 inches. So that's one option where you can start to understand your units. Now, Cricut Design Space also lets you change the view of your canvas. So if you go up to the 3 lines in the top left-hand corner, go down to Settings, it'll bring you to a menu here. So you have an option where you can change a full grid view, which is what we have right now, a partial grid view, which will only show just the square units. And if we go again to Settings and do no grid, then you will have no grid. So it'll just be kind of blank. I do like having a grid because I like to line certain things up sometimes. So I'm just going to go back and switch that to a full grid view. And then there's an option here where you can also have it imperial or metric. So imperial, you'll be in inches measurements, and if you went to metric, you can also work in centimeters. Now, I don't often work in centimeters. I like using inches because I'm good at eyeing it. So I'm going to switch that back, but that's one option. So if you're comfortable working in inches, you might want to go to metric. Let's go back to Settings. Go to Imperial, and luckily too, if you're not a big fan of the new layout, you can also change your canvas back to the classic mode. So this is the older version. Now I'm going to go back to the new version because I can adjust. So I'm just going to go back to new. You can see more like little grid options, so that's one thing. So same thing, I'm just going to go over our metric and units again. I'm going to click on images. Let's look for images really quickly. I'll click insert. Okay, so right now, same thing. If I wanted to make sure that my little bug face here could fit on my mug, we said about 3 inches wide would be a good max. So you can see right here that it's about 5.5 inches and about 4 inches tall. So I can click on my arrows here and drag it and make it a little bit smaller. And then that way I know that it will fit on my mug. I'm just gonna measure it up there. I know it may not look like it on the screen, but don't trust the screen on what that picture actually looks like. The other reason is you could be zoomed in a little bit on your actual canvas, and this is a lot bigger than 3 inches in real life, so try to trust what you see on the screen. At the top of the window here, there is another option where you can manually click or type in your measurements as well, so that is an option. If you want to freeform it again too, just hit the unlock button if you wanted to make it either, say, taller or shorter or wider or thinner. So that's an option. But before I finish my projects, I always want to hit save. So I'm just going to click the save button and hit save, because nothing worse than trying to design something and then you realize you haven't saved it when you go back to work on it. That's just a couple of features that are available here in the Cricut Design Space. And once again, I'm Rachel from the Innisfil Idea Lab and Library. Take care and have a great day.